July.
Okay, so when it says live, that means we're good. Again, the thumbs up from across the board, so across the room. So if anyone's out there who's tuned in today, could you just text me or not text me? I guess, is it Facebook chat? What's it? Facebook text, Facebook chat, Facebook
The
post?
comment.
Could you put in the Facebook comment that we're up and running, that you guys, somebody out there can see us, somebody out there in Never Never Land? Um, so first of all, let me apologize for being late today. I should have started at 12, but we had two or three things going on and I just could not break free from. So I'm not going to shorten. I'm not going to shorten my commitment. There's another meeting that starts at 1, but I'm going to be here for an hour and talk about Linda. Thank you. Now I know somebody's out there. All right, Gary. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to commit the full hour to talk to our community and citizens. Anyone that has any questions or thoughts, ideas, that we can just chat for a little bit. I think that's important. I don't want to shortchange anyone. So I'm here for the hour. So what I'll try to do is I will try to keep up with each post that comes through. Ford, thank you, my friend. Uh, as I go through, I will try to catch each one. Now, if they start to speed up, um, and I miss one, it's not by intent. I'll try to go back. But if we miss anything and then we look back through it after we're finished, anything that we missed, I'll send you a direct message, or we'll send you a direct message to address your question or response. So, but my intent is to move through pretty methodically and make sure I get each post. I think that's important. So if we run over, we run over. You all are important, and I want to have this conversation. So this is part of our monthly chats that we do each month here in Newport News. I will do one this afternoon, and then I'll do another one at 6 o'clock. I know things are hard with how fast life's going right now, and a lot of uncertainties. There's a lot of different things, and so if you can chime in or watch later, but that's why we do in two different time frames, so I can try to reach a broader audience. And this is just a chance for me to kind of tell you a little bit about the department, what has been going on, what we're doing now, and what we're going to be doing, and then to address any questions that you all have. So I will spend a little bit of time touching base on a couple events currently. I'll share with you what our crime rate is. I think that's important. I always worry about the perception, right? Sometimes I ask people, how many of this do you think we have in the city? And I hear it, I'm like, whoa, that's no. But I understand perception. So that's why it's important to get that information out. So I'm going to have Sarah start with Sarah's with me today. And we're going to start at the top and work through. So Linda, thank you for being here. Gary, thank you, my friend. Ford, I'm glad you're here. Love Newport. Michael, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Love New. I like that. That may be the tagline. Thank you very much, Miss Wallace. We understand. Miss Wallace, thank you. I feel bad. I did. I wanted to make sure I got here on time. There was just two things going on at one time, and they were both kind of critical. So I needed to address both of them, and they're both ended in very good results. So I'm happy. Miss Cox, thank you so much for joining in. Big activist in our city. I appreciate everything you do. Gary, I do have a question. Let's see. We had police in our neighborhood last week. Not a big issue, but they had guns drawn on a house. Then all of a sudden, it was over and they left. Just would be nice to get the loop closed. I run the neighborhood watch, and they're asking me for info. I have nothing. Guns drawn in the neighborhood is a big deal. So Gary, you got to do a couple things for me. One, you got to give me an address and a day that this occurred. I'll see what I have for you. I know we had one SWAT mission last week up on Jefferson, where we had to shut Jefferson down for about an hour and a half to make sure everything ended safely, and by the grace of God, it did. So just give me a little bit, neighborhood, day, time, and I'll see if I can close that loop for you. Um, that's a great question. Uh, uh, I'm not sure I understand that one. Sierra, hello. How are you? I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for all that you and the officers do in the city of Newport. Jimmy, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. Sierra, you said wow. That may be to another. Oh, Sarah says, can you inbox me? Good. Okay. Do we know how to inbox?
We do. If she wants to send us a message, if she has a like a question or something that maybe
Yep.
she wants to discuss in private, she can certainly do that, and
Okay. Sierra, if you send me maybe a number or contact number, if you call the police department, just ask speak to me, they can get you in touch with me, or however we can work something out. Okay. Rebecca, my son's in the academy. Rebecca, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I would want have on the board here that I want to talk about. We do have a graduation set for tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will be at uh, Temple Baptist Church on Harpersville Road. We have 20 great recruits that are graduating, a very diverse group. 20 recruits, 6 or 7 are female officers, and that's one of the things I've really been pushing, trying to build more in the department, is focusing on bringing female officers in and female leadership in our organization. So I am excited about tomorrow. I got to meet their parents last night. We've had 2 or 3 really good conversations over the last couple of weeks. It is a great bunch of recruits. This city should be honored to have them, and I am humbled that they chose here. So I am just really excited for tomorrow. It's going to be great. I got to meet several of them and most of their family and parents last night. Just a great bunch of people, and it's really good. It's a hard profession, and it's demanding, and not everyone can do it. But that's what makes it great. And I'm excited about tomorrow. Rebecca, okay, we did Rebecca. Carrie, what made you do traffic stops last weekend? What made you do? I don't, Carrie, give me a little bit more now. I'm not sure I follow your question. What made you do traffic stops last weekend? I'm not sure what you mean.
Were you part of the DUI thing or?
I don't know if you're talking about a checkpoint or I don't know what that means. Carrie, give me a little bit more than that. Ms. Wallace, have you in the have you had a community day for Central Precinct yet? Ms. Wallace, we did. So one of the things we talked about in February and March was I wanted to do a community day in each precinct, and I allowed the precincts to select where the location was. Central was actually our first. We did it in June. We did it at South Morrison. My hope was to draw people from the area of Tricia and Dresda Lane, Adams Drive, all that around South Morrison. That was our first one. We got hit with some bad weather, but we still had a really good turnout. It was a lot of different resources there. We were out playing kickball and stuff like that. We had a really good time. We did North Precinct up in the Thorncliffe area, and then South Precinct we just did last weekend. That was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about too. It was a great success. We were in Marshall Courts. We had hundreds of kids that showed up. We ate hamburgers and hot dogs and popsicles, and we had dance contests and a DJ. We were playing basketball. We had our recruiting team there. All kinds of different resources in the city. It was just a really good event. Our community youth and outreach division. It was just a really good event, and to see kids running around with officers smiling and interacting and playing. Man, I really had a good time. From there, I left and was able to attend the Autism Festival at King Lincoln Park. Uh, I had met that group 2 years ago. We had some restrictions with COVID last year, but I was honored. They gave me an award or a recognition, and it was just some great people. And autism is something that we focus on in this department. We spend more time in the academy with our officers, and more time when we do our in-service, when we go through our refresher training through the year. With Project Guardian, allowing individuals, if they so choose, they don't have to, but if they choose to register their individual and their family that might be autistic. So if we respond to a call or interact with someone that we know going to that location that we might run into that, and can be prepared for. The more we know, the more we're prepared. I think it decreases the possibility of some other things happening. So just phenomenal. And I tell you, I learn a lot every time I hear more about autism ranges and how different that spectrum can be. It's just amazing to me, and it's really challenging. I got to meet a lot of great people. I really had Saturday was a really good day for me. I was tired, and the top of my head got sunburned, but I had a really great day. Um, Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Gary, August 14th, Peach Orchard off of Lucas Creek Road. Now, Gary, I don't know. I have to see what it is. I don't know if it was a 1:28. Is that 1:28 a.m. or 1:28 in the morning? I don't know if it's or 1:20. Yeah, is it 1:28 in the morning or in the afternoon? I'm not. You might have to reach out to me one-on-one to talk about that, Gary. I'm just not. There's a lot of unknowns there. Sarah, I did. So you did messages?
Yeah, she
Oh.
probably did. We can't
Okay.
check it now because
Okay,
we have to
very
navigate
good,
it with
very,
the
very good.
situation.
Okay, Sierra, I look forward to talking with you. Jules, how are you? I'm glad you're here today. Thank you. Uh, oh, she's saying congratulations. Very good. My son graduates in November. Yep. So, Rebecca, we have one class that's graduating tomorrow of 20, and then there's another 21 that are graduating in November. And actually, believe it or not, one of the things I was doing upstairs is interviewing a new individual who wants to join our department. So we're starting to hire for the class in September, and then we have another class that starts in January. We're running 3 academies a year, and people are wanting to come to this organization, and that humbles me. You know, I tell individuals that want to join this department, what I'm looking for is people to come to this department that think outside the box, that are creative, that have a compassion for people. I can't teach that. They have to learn that from you all. They have to learn that from their family and people who raise them and their mentors. You can teach them how to drive the police car and do the reports and all this equipment that we have, but I'm looking for people who have a compassion and care about other people. That's what I want in this organization, to think outside the box and are creative. So I was just talking to a young man, and I was actually able to hire him today or offer him a position, and I'm just excited. Um, I try to run the department like a family, not a number. People that choose this organization, sworn or civilian, I want them to know that they matter to me, that they become part of this family. We may, like all families, we may disagree, but they matter to me, and their children matter, and their parents matter, and their significant other matters. And I don't take that lightly. This job is demanding. It demands a lot. You miss out on a lot of things. So people who want to serve and help other people, that hit home for me. So it was young man was excellent, and I look forward to working with him in this department, as well as your son, Rebecca. I got to go over and talk to them a little bit. He may have told you I'm going to take him out of the academy for a week, shut everything down, let him do some ride-alongs and feel what it's really like, so they can feel that radio, that car, driving through the neighborhood, see things going on. I want them to experience that. So I hope he enjoys it. Monica, Central's Community Day was on. Yes. Jackson, can you comment on the drive-by shooting off of Nettles last week? Any arrest? Jackson, Mr. President, I can't. I don't know that there were any arrests. I know there was some information. I remember reading the report, and we talked about it at the Monday staff meeting. But I don't believe that there was anyone arrested. I don't know if it was just someone shooting out the window, driving by, or if there was someone targeted on that situation. Rebecca got shot last week by those BB guns. I got shot. You know, Rebecca, I had heard this thing with the BB guns. There were some incidents in our city and an adjoining jurisdiction. Was it here in Newport News that were hit? I did read that. Matter of fact, there's a copy of that report on my desk. Oh, there you go. Look, Rebecca, you're ahead of me. Pier Avenue. I was just walking my dogs in my yard and it scared me. No, I totally get it. I think sometimes people think it's funny to run around with guns like that, with BB guns or fake guns, and to shoot. I think they think it's a joke or that it's entertainment, and I don't take it that way. It's very, very serious. And so first of all, let me say this: I hope you're okay, and I apologize to you that happened, whether it was here or somewhere else. I apologize to those, but I'd heard that there were some incidents here and in another jurisdiction with BB guns. So I apologize that, and I understand that it scared you. I totally understand it. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. Lisa, can we please have a symposium on the increase in fentanyl overdoses in Newport News in our Hampton Roads area? I lost my 23-year-old daughter to illicit drugs, killing our children. You know, Lisa, we can have a symposium, and I'm all about having those conversations. I'll tell you, we track crime trends and patterns, but we also, every Monday and every Thursday, I look at the overdoses in our city, those that are fatal and non-fatal. We also look at where we were at this time last year, how many calls we received for overdoses, how many losses of life we've had this year compared to last year. We also talk around the region, or the different chiefs talk about, as well as our federal agencies talk about what's going on and what situations occurred. What are we seeing? We try to test any heroin seizures we we get fairly quickly to determine if there's higher amounts of fentanyl in that. So it's just we are having a lot of those conversations, and it just, I will tell you, we had a call last week of a elderly female who overdosed and just wanted to take her life, and she called and told us ahead of time that that was her intent. By the grace of God, we were able to get there. She did, but she's alive today. I think because of the response. It's just, you said it took the loss of your 23-year-old daughter. So let me tell you, I'm sorry. I can't imagine what that feels like to lose someone. It happens way too often. We see increases around the region, and the potency of that is just a dangerous. And yeah, I am really sorry. So I would not be opposed to that at all on that supposing. But I will tell you that in law enforcement, we're talking about that a lot already and have been. Yeah, Rebecca. Yep, absolutely. Stephanie. Are she referring to this? Yep. You had a checkpoint stop. Sorry about the way I put it. So Carrie, yeah, we did have a traffic checkpoint. So are you asking why did we have one, or why did we not have one? We did have a checkpoint. I'm not sure what you're asking me about the way, there's not.
Maybe explain the ongoing DUI.
Yeah, so we do traffic checkpoints for a couple of, if we have experiences, we try to focus on DUIs. We also will put traffic checkpoints in areas where we're having a lot of traffic fatalities, a lot of traffic accidents. I was trying to answer your question directly, but I'm not sure I'm following you. Rebecca, I agree. It is. I'm meeting some great people, very diverse people, all walks of life that want to get into this profession. And when I ask them, why do you want to be a police officer? And they say, I want to help people. I want to see it make a difference. I want to make things better. And then when I ask them why here, it's because we see what you're doing in the community. We see what you're doing with youth. And when I say you, I mean the department. We see what the organization is doing, how we're interacting with each other, the different things that we're bringing in, focusing on mental illness, focusing on autism, focusing on domestic violence, focusing on our social workers that we've hired to bring into the department. But it is a great profession. It is a noble profession. It is hard. We still make mistakes daily, myself included. And for men and women that want to do this job and help other people, work around the clock, right? It's not Monday through Friday and weekends off. That's not it. We're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, serving citizens of this city. And it is an admirable profession. Lisa, I've reached out to Shelley Simons with 0 response. Yeah, I have a good relationship with Miss Simons. We have talked a lot. And Lisa's talking about scroll back up to where Lisa first started. She's talking about the overdoses.
Yes, the fentanyl.
Yeah. So, Lisa, I will say something needs to be done, but at the end of the day, it has to be individuals have to understand the dangers of that. And oftentimes when law enforcement gets involved, it is already too late. That individuals are dealing it, buying it, using it, trading it, whatever. I think it has to start early on. I think that we have to have conversations in our schools with young people and try to attack it on the front end. Once individuals choose to go down that road or try to profit from it or experiment with it, it's very concerning. So I think everyone has to take some ownership of that issue, and including the individuals who choose that. It is devastating to families, and it's devastating to communities, to loved ones. I've talked to several family members, officers who responded. Those are hard scenes to respond to. It is. I remember in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s, when crack cocaine hit so bad, and the situations revolved around with it. It's hard. It's hard. Scroll down for me. I've read all those from Rebecca. Jacob. Why do police departments give notice to the public when there is a scheduled DUI checkpoint coming up? Wouldn't they not tell the public so they can catch potential DUI drivers? So, Jacob, I will tell you, it's really not about. I'm not trying to go out there and arrest individuals. What we're trying to do is to get people to stop. We're trying to be open and transparent. I'm not trying to do anything sneaky. I'm telling people right now, if you're gonna drink and drive, you're gonna have problems in this city. I've been to this city has way too many traffic fatalities. We have way too many car accidents for DUI people that are out drinking or using drugs or driving a vehicle, and individuals get hurt. So I'm trying to be open and upfront. If that's something you choose to do, please understand. And I also want the community to know. So when citizens say, well, why we don't hear that the police are doing anything? Why aren't the police doing anything about DUIs? We're letting the community know we are going to be doing DUI patrols. It's also a way to try to get individuals who may partake in that activity to not do it. So there's a lot about the way you message things and being open and transparent. I'm not trying to be sneaky about it. I want individuals to know, do not drink and drive in the city of Newport News. Do not get behind a wheel in any city where you've been drinking and driving. That's not safe. You put other people in danger, including yourself. And when we go to those accidents, we can rebuild a car, but I can't repair a life like that that's injured, right? We go to way too many of that stuff. So I want to be open and upfront about it. It's not just about making an arrest. It's about stopping and deterring behavior. So that's one of the reasons that we'll put information out and try to share that. But I will tell you, there's things that we do on the back end that we don't advertise. So we're covering both sides of that. Faith. Faith, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My daughter took a fake prescription. I'm sorry to hear that, Lisa. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I remember when I first logged on to these, and there were 3, 4, or 5 folks. Love watching the viewership grow. Just shows you guys are on the right track. Platform. Stay safe. Look forward to hearing from you, Chief, about the question later. Gary, I appreciate that. I will tell you, when I first started here, this is one of the things that the Media Relations Department brought to me and said would be beneficial. It's very awkward for me. I'm talking into this round ball with this blue eye. It looks like R2D2 looking at me. I'd much rather be interacting face to face. But I found when we go to community meetings, 30 people maybe show up. We have a conversation and it's over. What they explained to me was that how many more people can tune in. They can tune in at different times. They can ask questions. We can respond back. And after the session's over, I don't understand all the technical lingo, but they will show me how many people watched, viewed, clicked on it, shared it. And then I'll come down 2 or 3 days later. They'll say, look, Chief, more and more have watched it. So I do think the technology, I was wrong. They know what they're talking about. That's why I hired them, right? They're the experts, kind of guide me in the right direction. But I do enjoy the interaction. And it's like when I got down here today, I was a little bit late, 30 minutes, but I was a little bit late. And they're like, we're just going to do a 30-minute segment. No, I'm committed to this community. I want to talk to you. And so I'm going to be here for a full hour and just interact. So I appreciate that. You just kind of made them smile because you validated everything they'd been telling me. But yeah, it works well. It works well. Michael, yep, that's good. That's very good. Thank you. She died January 15th. And oh my gosh, happened in Norfolk. Lisa, how old was she? And I'm very sorry. What do you say? I pray God gives you peace. I pray the 2 daughters are doing okay. I don't know how old they were, but I can't imagine some of the struggles. I know this, you can't blame yourself. You do the best you can in life, but you can't blame yourself. All you can do is move forward, stay strong for her 2 young daughters, and if there's anything at all I can ever do, I'd love to know how old your daughter was when she passed. Maybe you put it in the text there and I didn't see it earlier, so if you did, I apologize, but I'm very, very, very sorry. Jacob, I'm just asking what give notice in the first place, since it was potential to allow DUI drivers to take different routes, since they would have. So Jacob,
don't advertise the location.
So yeah, Jacob, we'll put out there that we're doing DUI patrols, but we don't say where those DUI patrols are going to be. So my hope is, because I can't put officers everywhere in every street, my hope is that we send a message out. The police are out looking for DUIs. We better not be on the road. I might, even if someone just takes a moment to think twice before getting behind the wheel, give the keys to someone else. Call up. My gosh, there's about 20,000 cars that can come pick us up now, right? Taxis, Ubers, all the different mechanisms, friends. Um, yeah, I was going to say, you can even call us, we'll get you home. But yeah, so it's really about preventive and trying to make smart choices and change behavior. It's not really trying to go out and make arrests. Now, let me be very clear. The reason we do DUI patrols is if we find individuals that are out driving while intoxicated, putting other people in danger, we will arrest them. We will arrest them. And I will tell you, the judges take that stuff very seriously as well as the Commonwealth Attorney. No one wants to see anyone get hurt because someone else was drinking and decided to drive. I was so disappointed the ride-along program got put on hold again, but I understand why. Any ideas when it will open? Yeah, I'll tell you, Ms. Wallace, I love that program. I think it's important. People get to see and feel and hear. But with this COVID stuff, like you said, you understand, I just need to see the numbers drop a little bit. I don't want to put citizens at risk or officers at risk. Everybody has families, so I don't want to throw out a time. I just need to see the hospitalizations and the numbers drop and get us back to those lower levels before we open that up again. But I think it's very important. That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up. Wow. Oh, Jacob, no problem, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a great question, man. You're locked in. That's a really good question. Thank you. I think they're going back and forth, right?
Yeah, jump over.
She was 23. Oh no, let me go down.
Okay. Yep.
Lisa, so your daughter was 23 and the children are 3 and 4. And I think you said the children are both daughters, right? Lisa, you cannot blame yourself for choices that other people made. And I'm not saying that she deserved that in any way. But what I am saying is you cannot beat yourself up and you can't take responsibility for that. You have to be strong for those 2 beautiful young little girls and move forward, make sure that they always remember their mother, and just do the best you can. That's all you can do. And take one day at a time. But I want to stress to you, it's not your fault. Parker, scroll down a little bit for me. Good morning, Chief. I would like to say thank you to Ms. Jackson, the Newport News Police Department, for helping children who have experienced violence in their lives, with a week-long support workshop endorsement. I will be glad to pass that on, Parker. Thank you so much. Man, officers need to hear that. Chief, do you think people really appreciate what they do? So often we see things in the media. Police did this happened in this community, this happened. But that means a lot. And, we try to, what are the ways we can interact with each other and our community? And I'll tell you, that's a really good post, and I will certainly pass that along. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your part. Thank you. Aubrey, how are you, my friend? I hope all is well. I think we've got anti-bullying thing coming up, not too far away. So I know that's something you're very, very passionate about. We share that passion, and it's good to hear from you. And I hope all is well. And that anti-bullying, it couldn't be more timely with school starting right around the corner. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to our community about as well. So hope you're being okay, Aubrey, and be safe. And man, I really support you in the bullying awareness. That's so key, especially it could not be more timely with school starting right around the corner. Aubrey, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate that we're able to have conversations. Did I miss one? Yeah, scroll back up for me. I don't blame myself. I just want more saved. I understand, Lisa. But I will tell you, a lot of people I talk to do blame themselves. So that was the gist of the comment. Chief, what could I have done differently? What should I have done? And I understand that. I worry about people taking that on themselves about what others do. Scroll down just a little bit. September 11th. Yeah, I knew it. And I believe you're going to be up at City Center again, Aubrey, if I'm correct. I think that's the location that you have selected. I know you've been there before. Yeah, man, it's a good event. I appreciate you helping bring awareness to that. That's huge. I know that's very, very personal. Everything seen, officer, I thank them. Lisa, thank you. That means a lot. Lori, getting ready to start my 32nd year. Oh my gosh, 32 years. Uh-oh. We love to see Chief Drew at the school to meet the kids. Lori, so do this. Tell me what school you're at, and what grade you teach. My mother taught the 3rd grade for 30 years. Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm gonna tell you this. She still talks to me like I'm in the 3rd grade. She will call me. I talk to her on the weekends and the evenings, and I'll be telling her about things that are going on in the department. And she will always say, well, you and your little friends, be safe. So she still talks to me like I'm in the 3rd grade. But that is a honorable and a very, very hard profession. I appreciate anybody who gives any profession 32 years, but 32 years in teaching. Let me know, Lori, what school you're at. But I enjoy interacting. Domestic violence is a passion of mine, and so is youth. So it doesn't matter to me, middle school, elementary, high school. I enjoy interacting with young people. I learn so much from them. They keep me young. They drive me crazy at times, but that is our future. And you let me know what school you're at, and let's work something out. I would love. BC Charles, 4th grade. No, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're old. No, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. 4th grade. I would love to set a time, whether it's coming and saying hello as kids get off the bus, or saying goodbye as kids get on the bus. So BC Charles is the best. So look, now you know you're going to start a bunch of mess now. You're going to say that's the best school. You're going to start a bunch of mess on here now. But I would love. I've done a lot of things that a couple years. We've now adopted elementary schools, and Jenkins Elementary School had asked me to adopt them, and we've done a lot of things there. Really work well with Miss Kelly Stewart, the principal there. So I will take you up on the invite, whether it's reading to kids in a cafeteria, or a library, or it's coming to have lunch with kids. You talk about, now that is hazardous pay. I walked away with mustard stains on my uniform, but I've opened a lot of milk cartons, and punched a lot of holes in the Sunkiss and Capri Sun. So I will take you up on that, and I will do whatever you'd like, whether it's, like you said, interacting, saying hello to children in the hallway, or just having lunch with kids. I would be all over that. That sounds great. 32 years. That's amazing. A young 32 years. That's awesome. So again, I just no, I think, is that all the comment? I didn't miss anybody, did I? Hope not. So I just wanted to touch base a couple things. We talked about back to school. I just want to encourage and remind, as our young students are getting back on the buses. We did a couple stories, I think, this over the summer, but be careful about passing that bus when it stops, right? So just so we're all on the same page, if there's a median, those that are coming the opposite direction the bus is coming, you don't have to stop. If there's a median and you're coming the same direction the bus is, and the bus stops, you have to stop when that arm comes out, let children get on, and when the arm closes. And you can move forward with the bus as it moves. If there's no median and you're coming the opposite direction, you have to stop as well, right? So the median is the indicator whether you, on the opposite side, if you have to stop or not. If you're traveling with the bus, every time the bus stops, that arm comes out, you have to stop. And that's a pretty hefty fine. It's like a $250 fine. That's pretty hefty. So please be careful. There's more kids going to be out, and I worry about them. Just the different things with this virus. I want people to be safe and be prepared, and just take care of each other and look out for each other. Lori, all right, sounds good. I'm gonna hold you to it. BC Charles, I got it. But please be aware of safety with our school buses. Crime right now in the city, if we reported, so crime is measured in really 3 ways, and then there's one of those 3 ways we send off to the FBI. So every department, every police department in the country, there's violent crime, so robberies, rapes, shootings, homicides. There's property crime, homes being broken into, auto theft, larcenies, and then you put those 2 together and you get what you call total crime. And the total crime is a number that the FBI calculates, and it will put together percentage of crime per population. So right now, if we were to report our numbers to the state, the federal, the FBI, crime is down in our city at 7.3, 7.5%. But 7% we're down in crime. Now, we were down 11% last year. We were down 9% the year before, and 5% the year before. So if you looked at a chart, crime would be this way in Newport News, total crime, right? We are seeing a spike in our homicides this year. Most of them have been cleared, and most of the homicides that have happened in our city have happened in non-traditional locations. Almost half are inside residences, meaning that almost half, over half, probably 75% are by people. They're not random. They're people that know each other. Domestic related stuff that happens on social media, and people get upset. People are at a location, they get into an argument and a fight, and somebody produces a firearm. Family events. Of course, we had a child that life was taken because of his mother. We've had 2 that have been as a result of mental illness. So, but overall, crime is down in the city by 7%. I'd like to see us at double digits at a 10% reduction, but we have seen some spikes in some different things. Our shootings, meaning someone shot in the arm, the shoulder, anything that's not a life-threatening death, our shootings are exactly the same where they were this time last year. And that's still too many, and we're trying to do some things to address that through technology and also with restructuring some of our manpower in the department. But I want to make sure that we don't over-police a neighborhood, that we're there in locations where we're seeing spikes in crime, and we got to communicate that. Sometimes we don't do it the best way. I think citizens understand why we're there if we share that information and communicate. What they may not understand is, why did you stop me? I live here. Well, we got a call, but why did you stop me? Is it because of where I live? Is it because of my zip code? Is it because of my race? No, it's because we have crime in this community. There's crime in this neighborhood. We've seen a spike over the last 10 days or 14 days. Citizens have called, and we're just trying to police better. And I think when you have those conversations on the front end and on the back end, it makes better relations. What we don't want to do is, I need to see your driver's license, your ID. Well, why are you stopping me? We're patrolling the neighborhood. Why are you stopping? And then it gets to be an argument. We need to do a better job of explaining what we're doing and why we're doing it. Now, some people may agree with that or not agree with that. But when citizens call, and 95% of what we do is citizen driven from calls for service that we get, that people ask us for help. There's nothing worse than going to a crime scene and a family member is crying and because their son or daughter or family member has been injured. And why weren't you here, Chief? Or why wouldn't and it's hard. We can't be everywhere. So we have to rely on our community, our residents. That's our best assets. We've also got to build trust and relationships and make sure we're treating people fairly, being equitable. I will tell you, I would love for this department to be known, at least on the East Coast, as the most compassionate police department. That when people think of Newport News, that they think, that department cares about people, that they have compassion. It might be my tagline. Most compassionate police department on the East Coast, Newport News Police Department. I have to find a better way to phrase it, but that's what I would like people to think of, that this department cares about people and has a passion for youth. I think that's why we get into this profession. Hey, Chief, Courthouse Green Community Day is upon us. Thank you for your support. No, Ms. Brumfield, I am excited. I'm going to do my very best to be there. I've got like 3 or 4 other events that day. So I'm going to be bouncing around, but I know we've got resources coming there. We've made some commitments, and you all do just an amazing job. I want to thank you for everything you and your organization do. I can't wait till we can get back meeting in person, having those meetings regularly. But Courthouse Green is probably one of the biggest successes I've seen this department have over the last couple of years. In 2018, that neighborhood led us in crime in the North Precinct. It led us in crime. We put a heavy structure there and plans in place. Chief Creswell, the captain, and then Chief was the captain there, and now Captain Dunbar and the lieutenants up there and officers have done an amazing job. You would not believe the difference strong focus in that community has made. Those crime numbers used to be here, and now they're here. That is the biggest turnaround in a neighborhood in this city, and a lot of the credit goes to the residents who live there that aren't tolerating and calling the police and sharing information that happens. I cannot tell you how happy and proud I am of the community there in Courthouse Green, and it is a great community, and I'm looking forward to Saturday. It'll be a good event. When and where is your next community walk? So I couldn't do one. I didn't do one last Friday because what did we do last Friday? I'm trying to do them each Friday as we go through. I think I missed last Friday, but it may have been because of the weather. No, I didn't miss last Friday. Miss Wallace, I don't miss too many of them. Last Friday, I walked with a buddy of mine, buddy named Charlie. Charlie he had been really injured in a fire. He's gone through a lot of surgeries, a lot of treatment, and I got to walk with him up around the Mitchville area, spend some time with my friend, and we just kind of walked his community, and I got to spend a lot of time just he and I alone. His dad was there too, but I got to spend a lot of time with my friend and just checking on him and talking about the community and school, and he's my buddy. So I usually will pick a location on sometimes Friday morning, and I just kind of look about where I'd like to go and walk. Tomorrow, now Friday, we have our police graduation, and I want to spend some time with the recruits and their families as they join this department. So I don't know that we'll get one in tomorrow, but I will do one more, maybe two more in the month of August, and then I'll sort of back away in September and just kind of read the tea leaves a little bit. Is it something that we should continue to do to its community like that, the citizens? And sometimes I get 20 citizens that come out and want to walk with me, and sometimes they go to neighborhoods where they don't, but I see people open their door and wave, and I'm not trying to be evasive to anyone, and I just try to get my steps in, right? But just walk the community and get a feel and look at things. One of the things we're really focusing on in the southeast right now is blight. Shrubs that need to be cut back, signs that are bent over and broken down, lights that aren't on or that are not as bright as they could be, whether we need to change the bulbs or just clean lenses, broken down cars that are on the street, and then primarily it's a lot of trash or evictions, I guess. I don't know what that is just left on the side. And when that stuff gets wet or just stays there or dumpsters get overflown, it creates rodents, disease. And I'm afraid that the perception of communities is like nobody cares about us. And what I don't want is children coming outside and look at that trash is there, and 2 weeks later that trash is still there. So we're trying to work with works and utilities and our codes, and we have dedicated right now a pilot program for an officer in the southeast community to work with them and address blight. So we see stuff out there, I want that stuff gone the next day. I don't want it to sit and we're trying to do it better. There's bumps in the road, we're trying to work out kinks. But I think how a neighborhood looks is a reflection of how people feel about their neighborhood and how other people feel about their neighborhood. Other people, yeah, right? I want people to get behind. I want to do some organized community cleanups. I want people to take pride in their community, and I want to make sure that we're doing our part as well. So that's one of the things that we're focusing on. Parker, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you. Some other good news. I received my acceptance letter for the Citizens Police Academy. Well, you will be great. You will enjoy that. The Citizens Academy, we're trying to run 3 of those a year. We open the doors to this agency. We talk a lot about what we do and why we do it. There's a lot of benefits to that, to get an understanding of how each division works, what we focus on, how we teach our recruits. One of the benefits for me when we have the new Citizens Academy are those are the individuals that I asked to come sit on our Use of Force Review Board. So a Use of Force Review Board, every officer in Newport News has a body-worn camera. I highlight this because it's pretty cool. We were the first department in the state to have them. Every officer here has them. And in that Use of Force Review Board, citizens see it. They see all of it. They don't see a 30-second post that someone puts on Facebook. Oh, look, there were 4 officers with one individual, one female, right? Boom, here's the picture. You see the 3 or 4 minutes of how they tried to have a conversation before, how someone might be struggling from mental illness, or someone how might be wanted, or someone might have a firearm and the firearm's in their waistband and they go to the ground. They see it. And the citizens and officers vote in policy, out of policy, are in policy, but we might be able to do some better things with training. So who's on the board? If we had to explain use of force and what the law is and how we're trained in every class, we would be here for hours. So I try to have a prerequisite that if you go through the Citizens Academy, and the class is about somewhere between 20 and 30 people, and we've had about, 50 or 60 classes, that we're able to select those individuals to sit on the use of force review board, very reflective and diverse of our community. So on the board, just so people try to clear some things up, some things I've heard in the past, there is a officer, a sergeant, a lieutenant, and a captain. 4 police officers: officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain, right? And there are 5 citizens, so that's 9. So there's no tie. There's more citizens than officers, and they see the body-worn camera footage in full. And what force is if someone is to a traffic stop and someone has a warrant on file for whatever it is, if they step out of the car and put their hands behind the back, the handcuffs are placed, we're taken down to the magistrate, that's an arrest. There is no use of force. What is the use of force if someone gets out of the car and starts fighting the police and there's the fight, whether there's kicking or punching? If we use OC spray, if we use our asp-baton, if we have to tase someone, if they run and we tackle someone, that's a use of force. Anytime if someone were to get out of the car and fall down and have an injury that we did or did not commit, we would still do a use of force report. Even if the citizen said, I'm fine, I don't need any treatment, we're still going to do a use of force report or an injury injury report to make sure it's documented. And we self-report that. And it's all captured on body-worn camera, and then we play that. And we meet each month. So when we meet in August, we'll be looking at all the use of force incidents from July. And when we met in February, we looked at everything from January. So we're always on 1 month behind, and we look at all of those that have happened. We average about 6 or 7, maybe 8 a month. And I'll tell you, I've had a couple of school teachers that have been served on the use of force review board, and they have told me, they're like, that's use of force? We do more. And so anyway, but it's a good process. And we do a disclaimer. The disclaimer is not to be held in anything in secret, but the disclaimer is about that you may see someone on video that you know that lives in your neighborhood, that you work with, that you go to church with, that you're friends with. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone, and I don't want you to put that information out. What I do want you to put out is, this is the use of force review board, this is the process, this is what we saw, this is how we voted, I want you to talk about it, it's important. I'm just not trying to embarrass anyone. You know, sometimes, whether someone might have had a bad day, an argument with their husband or wife, 2 kids fighting that we had to separate, someone that might have too much alcohol to drink. I'm not judging anyone, believe me. But if we have to use force, then I want to take a look at it, and I want the public's input on it. Ms. Brumfield, I think you'll really enjoy it. It talks a lot about the different units we have, what they do, why we do what we do. It's a good event. It's a really good training. Monica White, Miranda Eccles, they do an amazing job with that. So I think I've hit everything. I know when we go back through it, I'll miss someone, so I openly apologize. We'll talk again. We got our academy graduation tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We'll be at Temple Baptist Church on Harpersville Road. I'm really excited. And every event, I'll tell you, I told you all I had a strong passion for youth. In every event we do in this city, whether it's an award ceremony, promotion ceremony, National Night Out, our police memorial, our 9/11 ceremony, anything we do, I want youth involved. I want young people involved. Tomorrow we have a sophomore who will be one of the guest speakers, and that's important. A young man, a sophomore in this city, that goes to a local high school, is going to talk at police graduation. That's important. I'm excited about that. There's a couple other surprises I haven't shared with too many people about. Throw some curveballs into the event. But it's a great day. Family get to see their loved one after 6, 7, 8 months walk across the stage and get a badge pinned on them. And then they got to do 3 or 4 months in field training where an officer's riding with them in the car. We give them the foundation in the academy, but then they really get out there and do the work and interact with our community and our citizens. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm sorry for being late. I haven't seen any new posts come in, so unless I see anything, I'm probably going to go ahead and get off here. We were supposed to go till 1, but I was about 30 minutes late, so I was going to at least stay till 1:30. I talked about our cares, back to school right around the corner. We touched on crime, graduation. We did all our community days over the summer. As we go in, like I said, we have an academy graduating tomorrow. We have another one in November. We're hiring for the one in September. And then we were going to do one in January, but Captain Bradley thinks we can get it in December, so that would even be better. So you have a lot of officers that still want, a lot of individuals who want to come to this department. Let me take this few minutes to say this. I am honored and humbled to work in this city. The individuals who live in Newport News, I think we have some of the most talented youth in our city. People who work in this department, I see them give and give and give, and things that will never be reported to the media. An example, a elderly female wanted to commit suicide, and she called her family. They called us. We can't get to her. We responded, and she had, in fact, attempted. And officers couldn't find her. Searched the apartment, couldn't find her. Checked outside, we couldn't find her. We went back and searched the apartment again, and she had kind of hidden herself in the apartment. We were able to find her and save her life. And that may never be reported at on any local media station. But I'm telling you, the officer saved that woman's life. And we get to do things like that, those opportunities every day. I see officers paying electric bills for people, playing with kids in the neighborhood, interacting with kids at bus stops. I get emails that, Chief, your officers did this for my son or daughter who has autism. Your officers did this when they came by. That's the stuff I want. And I know it doesn't always get reported, but I'm telling the officers that work in this organization, that's what this community wants. That's what we've raised our right hand and sworn an oath to. And I appreciate you, each and every one. I appreciate the civilian that work behind the scenes, our dispatchers, our individuals in records. I appreciate the talented work that our forensic technicians do, processing crime scenes for hours. The expertise you have is phenomenal. I appreciate the work that the detectives do, how they work around the clock, staying here until cases are, they exorbitate every lead that they can before they go home. The officers who work midnight shifts, for most of us, are home sleeping. They keep the city safe. I appreciate you. And I see the things you do. And I'm telling you, what you do matters, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Cheryl, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Brumfield. I appreciate that. Look, we're blessed. We have a great mayor to work with, Mayor McKinley Price, our city manager, Ms. Roth, our city council. It's great to have a great relationship. They ask hard questions, as they should. And I think that's fantastic, and that they are engaged. I had a meeting with the city manager yesterday, and I met with the assistant city manager today, and we just talk about where we go from here. And we talk about different things that are occurring. And so I am very, very fortunate to have the structure we have in this city, the relationships, the Commonwealth Attorney, our Sheriff's Office. At the end of the day, Sheriff Morgan always tells me, one team, one fight. And man, that's it. It's how do we bring the best service to our residents, right? How do we improve the quality of life, and make this the best place to live, work, and play, raise a family? So I'm very appreciative and very humbled. So I just wanted to thank the officers and the other entities that we work with, our great partnership with the YMCA, Rob Coleman and Hal with the Boys and Girls Club, the Police Foundation, people that work together to bring different things, add additions to this department, whether it's training, outer carrier vests, technology. I'm just learning daily. I apologize to the community and the men and women who work here for mistakes that I make. Charge it to my heart. I'm sure I will make more, but it is an event to try to make this the best department we can. So I appreciate you chiming in today. I apologize for being late, holding up too long. Thank you, Ms. Wallace. I appreciate that. Please be safe. Oh, wait, what did I miss, Carrie? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Yep. Ms. Cox is an activist, a member of the NAACP, and she has also sat on our Use of Force Review Board and helped us not only with that, but also on promotion panels. So I appreciate that, Carrie. Thank you so much. So I'm going to jump off here. Please be safe. There's a ComStat meeting going on that I'm late to, but I wanted to spend time with you all. I'll do this again at 6 o'clock this evening. So I apologize for any posts that I missed. I tried to hit them all, and we will touch base later on. Take care. God bless. I appreciate you all. Thank you.